All right, Andre, you back for us?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Well, what are you getting out of this?
Yeah, I think it is working. Yeah.
Good.
I
thought we saw a big shift pretty quickly.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and have you do one more set of handshaking.
Okay.
So show us the soldier. We're still getting a little bit of that disciplined soldier. Show us the soldier who's bolt upright, expressionless, emotionless, just doing his duty.
Duty is the right word here.
What's everyone seeing? So there's a certain intensity now. There's a little bit still of the throwing it up in the air. See if you can exaggerate that for us. Really imagine throwing it way up in the air, like you're juggling. Anyone else have feedback for Andre? You're certainly more connected. There's still a piece we're missing.
So good for first time.
Yeah, his whole body was more involved at the end, but there was that round kind of rhythmic movement going on with the throwing up in the air.
Yeah. No, that was really good. The one piece I want to see if we can penetrate here is the mask was coming back. So let's do one more round and really show us a mask. Show us that fake smile, the expressionless look. You really don't want us to see the real you, what's really going on. Yeah, that's working really well for you. You're really starting to drop in. And there's a strong entrainment effect.
There seems to be a difference between the right and the left hand.
There is, yeah. The left hand is more connected. Show us a claw with the right hand. And make it into a big claw. Show us the right arm and hand being really disconnected. All right, there it's starting to connect. It's working a little better for you. Now the right is actually better connected than the left. Show us two claws. Good. Can you feel the difference, Andre?
Yeah, actually in the left hand.
Yeah, you're much more connected in your hands now. They're working together. Before they were competing a little bit.
Yeah, can be. Yeah, seems to be. They're working better now.
Good. Yeah, it's much more. Your energy is much more coherent.
Yeah,
and you're starting to connect to the environment. It's not real strong yet, but. I wonder if anybody watching can see, now when he moves his hands, especially on the downstroke, he's actually connecting to the environment and moving things a little bit. There's a rhythm to it. Andre, can you feel the space? Can you feel the air as you move your hands?
Yeah, I can feel the air.
Okay, let's do one little trick with you. If you have some water or something, get your fingers a little bit wet. You can always lick them if you don't have some water.
Yeah.
Water, just you know,
water.
Just dip your fingers in so they're a little wet.
Yeah.
Got some water? Are your fingers wet?
Just a second. It's coming.
No, rubbing them isn't going to do it. I want you to actually take your fingers and put them in water.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We got it.
Yeah.
Now, shake your hands. When the water's on your fingers, you should be able to feel the air more clearly.
Yes, I do.
Good. Now you're much better connected. This is working really well for you. That's a nice little trick that really helps when you're disconnected from the space.
Yeah.
Can you feel the air? Good.
Yeah, I could.
Now you're connecting.
I can feel it now.
Yeah. The trouble with being disconnected is, again, you can take a lot of action, but it won't have a lot of effect. So you can do a lot of things, you can try really hard, but if you're not connected, things don't move. And getting the fingers wet is a great little tip when you're having trouble feeling the space. There's a lot of what is literally feeling the empty space around you. That empty space is that one of the most amazing discoveries of science is they have discovered that space, emptiness, is not empty and it's not flat.
No.
In other words, empty space, the deepest void of intergalactic space, it's not empty and it's not flat. In other words, it has a texture to it. And there is more energy, more zero point or quantum energy in 1 cubic centimeter of empty space than the sun will put out in its entire lifetime. That's a lot of energy, isn't it? Right?
Yes. Lots of
so you think if you can connect a little bit to that 0 point energy, you might bring some change into your life?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Show us one more time, then we'll move on to the next person.
All right. So water is all gone, but I think I remember the feeling.
Good. Yeah, if you can remember the feeling. So this is really good.
Yeah.
And it's funny. What I see is you're kind of sitting watching yourself going, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm paying attention what's going on. Yeah.
But it's almost like part of you is sitting back watching the rest of you going, oh, this is interesting. Yeah, that's really good. Anyone else have feedback for Andre?
Yeah, I don't see the mask now. And it seems more effortless, his movements.
Yeah, that's what happens. He's showing us the real him. And he's a little confused, a little embarrassed. Can everyone see that? He's a little self-conscious about being seen, but that's okay. Because you've been hiding your whole life. It's going to take some getting used to. Because here's how it works, Andre. If we can't see you, if we don't know where you are, we can't give you money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So the money's coming in going, oh, he's not here. Guess I should go somewhere else.
Yeah, very true.
Awesome. Let's give him a round of applause. Yay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Who else wants to go?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I wasn't sure how to unmute myself.
You got it. So let's go to Alan. Alan, is it possible to get a little more light on you or move behind the light? Because you're very dark right now.
Let's see. I might be able to turn this around a little bit. Is that a little bit better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Because my chandelier was behind me, actually.
Yeah. Can you move back so we can see more of you? And tilt your computer down.
How's that?
All right,
better?
good. Perfect. Yeah. So what would you like to do for us? You want to do some handshaking or you want to do the scooping?
Well, I don't know how to do either, but I mean, I've never done this before.
That's okay. The handshaking is really simple. You just shake your hands. The scooping is also really simple. I'll demonstrate. You just reach out and pull in whatever you want more of. Money, love, respect, health, fame. You just reach out and pull it into your chest. Take your pick.
Okay, well, I guess we could try doing that.
All right, let's do the scooping. What are you bringing in? What would you like more of in your life?
Well, I'd like more of almost everything, I guess.
All right, what's top of the list?
Right now, I could use some more money.
All right, so let's bring in money.
And I could use a new girlfriend.
All right, we'll start with money. So just imagine that the energy of money is all around you, and you just want to reach out and scoop it in and pull it in. And if you could take another step back or two, we'd be able to see more. That would be helpful. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Go for it. All right, so you see how he's not pulling in much at all. It's a very weak motion.
Going right through his fingers.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to say too. Yeah, it looked like it's slipping right through his fingers.
Yeah, and closing your fingers isn't going to change it. It's a matter of the energy. And it's still, there's just nothing that's coming in. And the little bit you're bringing in, it's getting close, but it's not penetrating. So it's like you bring in a little bit of money and it gets close to you, but it doesn't end up in your bank account. It's the deal you almost closed. The lottery ticket that almost won, the stock that you held on to a little too long and then it crashed. So can everyone see how it's slipping through his fingers and he's not bringing it all the way in? He's stopping short of himself. So it's like, get close, but don't come in. And changing the physical motion doesn't change the energy. That's what everybody does at first. It doesn't matter. That's like, if the money shows up in a brown bag or a black suitcase or a green duffel bag, does it matter? Does it change the amount of money? Of course not, right?
Probably not.
Nope, not at all.
He looks a little confused though, like he doesn't get why he's not receiving.
Yeah. Yeah, when he's kind of going, why isn't this working?
What I'm getting is that he's pulling in stuff he doesn't want.
Oh.
And
Okay,
and that confirms for him that things don't work.
Yeah. That what he does bring in is painful in some way.
Yeah, I was getting quite a physical reaction from...
Yeah. And you notice how he's kind of punishing himself with it? There's a little violence to it. Anyone else have feedback? All right, Alan.
Disconnected from the movement, like his body and head are disconnected from the actions that he's taking.
Yeah. It's almost like a robot is doing it that hasn't been programmed properly. So, Alan, we're gonna work you through some of this. And so we just want to exaggerate the opposite. So the first thing I want you to show is show us what it looks like when you're bringing in the money, but it slips through your fingers. What does that look like? So he's immediately more powerful.
Kind of looks like he's got a hold of the money,
Yeah.
but hasn't brought it in yet.
Yeah, he's not bringing it in yet. That's okay.
Yeah, it's like kind of like, look what I got.
But there's an immediate increase in his power, his ability to actuate, to interface with the environment. So now he's actually reaching out and collecting it. He's touching the money now, which is a great step in the right direction.
Hmm.
Keep at it. Keep doing it. Just show us what it looks like when it slips through your fingers. So isn't it wild how when he's showing us what it looks like to slip through his fingers, he's now actually interfacing and touching it.
It seems like he's clothing himself with it.
Yeah, he is. So the next piece we're going to work on here is I want you to show us what it looks like when you bring it close, but don't let it in. So there's definitely some change in the connection again. Keep at it. Keep moving. And even though he's not bringing it all the way in, he's kind of putting it in motion, and some of it is actually touching him now. He's kind of throwing it at himself, and it's coming in. Before, he was kind of smearing it over his chest. Now there's very little sense of that. Instead of smearing it over the chest, there's actually a little bit that's coming in now.
I'm getting that it's feeding him.
Oh, yeah. All right, Alan, go ahead and relax for a second. We'll have him do one more round, and we'll see what this looks like. Anyone else have feedback for Alan? I'll just remind everybody that you get out of it what you put into it. So the more you interact and offer support to other people, the more you're going to benefit.
This is Linda. I thought it looked like he was stacking it at one stage.
Okay, good, yeah. He was kind of stacking it up, putting it somewhere else, but not inside him. All right, Alan, let's do it again. Just reach out and grab the money and pull it into your heart. All right, he's better connected and it's coming in, but there's still pain. So we got another layer we have to work with here. I'm curious, please let me know if anyone watching, if you can see the violence, how he's using it to hit himself.
Yes, I see that.
Good.
Yes, I thought it looked like he was stabbing himself.
Yeah, it's like he's stabbing himself with it. That money, success, love, fame, all these things are painful to him.
But his face looks very disconnected from the actions that he's doing.
It is, because he's showing us a mask. This is a mask. And, nothing to feel bad about. Almost everyone puts on some form of mask because we don't want people to see what's really going on with us. And the way there's a mask is it seems kind of plastic, and it is disconnected from the movement. So he's hiding behind a mask that's made out of intellect. It's made out of thought. So, Alan, show us what it looks like when you bring it in and it hurts. That it's stabbing you in the heart. But it's really painful when it comes in. Okay, notice how the mask is starting to dissolve. Keep at it.
And it looks like more's going in now.
Yeah, now he's actually letting it in. And there's still a hesitancy. You can see how he kind of slows down and hesitates before it comes in. But he's bringing some in now. Before, he would just bring it close or kind of hit himself with it or smear it. The pain, I think, is making the biggest shift. And if you think that money is painful, do you think it's going to show up in large amounts?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? And all of us in various forms, we're so addicted to our suffering. And this is really good. See, now he's much more trustable. This is someone you would trust. So
there seems to be more connection.
Yeah, there's more connection. That's what happens. There's a certain attractiveness, a trust, a resonance, an entrainment that happens. And so by showing us the pain, he's being honest with himself. And that causes the mask to start to let go. You know, there's still some mask, but it's starting to thin out. And we all get programmed to wear masks because we learn to show people what we think they want to see.
It's like this isn't as bad as what I thought it was.
Yeah, there is a little bit of relief in him. It's like, oh, this isn't so bad. Oh, the money doesn't hurt nearly as much as I thought it would. Good. Alan, what are you getting out of this? How do you feel?
I feel surprised and a little bit unhappy with myself.
Oh, that's okay. Because to make a shift, you got to know what's going on, right?
Right.
You know, if your car is broken and you can't find the broken piece, it's hard to fix, isn't it?
Very much.
You know, you don't blame whatever part of your car has a problem, do you? You know, if you got a flat tire, is that the tire's fault?
Not really.
Nope. Same thing with you. You know, if there's a piece that's not working how you want to, it's not really your fault, is it?
Well, maybe it is.
Well, would you like to hold on to that self-judgment, or would you like to let go of it and transform?
Well, I'd like to see things go better.
Well, do you think you're going to get there by beating yourself up?
Probably not.
Nope. The way you get there is to identify what's not working and fix it, huh?
I'd say so.
Yep. If you got a flat tire and you go bang your head against the wall for being such an idiot for driving over a nail, is that going to fix it?
Nope.
Nope. What is going to fix it is jack up the car, stick on a new tire, huh?
Well, talk about cars. I had a really bad accident about a month ago. And I fell asleep while I was driving, and I totaled my car. And that was it. I'd never had anything like that in my entire life. It was a really big disaster.
That's pretty scary, huh?
It was. And I broke a couple of ribs. And
yeah, that's got to be painful.
Fortunately, I didn't kill myself.
Yeah. Are you able to connect to that gratitude?
I feel good that I survived it and that I'm intact.
Good.
And
thank God you didn't hurt anybody else, right?
Right. I broke a telephone pole in half.
Well, you know, that's okay. The telephone pole can be replaced.
Right.
And I'm sure your insurance company is going to get a bill for it from the city. That I can guarantee.
I believe it.
When I was in high school, I ran over a fire hydrant. And I got a $650 bill from the city for the water that had shot out of the hydrant after I knocked it over.
It would be a lot more nowadays.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be a lot more nowadays. And so the reason I'm going through this with Alan is I want everyone to know that our relationship and judgment of the feedback is determines what happens with it. And if we use it as a tool to beat ourselves up, that's just the slow road. You'll get there, but you're stuck in first gear. The more we can just take in the feedback without judgment, just this is just what's happening, okay, let's make a shift, let's fix it. The less we can take it personally and give meaning to it, the faster the transformation happens. And one of the reasons I took a while with a lot of my transformational work is I would take the feedback I got and just beat myself up with it. Oh, I'm such an idiot for having this, or oh, I'm such a loser because I don't have this or that, or I moved this way, or people said this or that. Doesn't matter. And for everybody, this is where awakening helps tremendously. When you deeply understand and know that you are not the ego, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are none of that. You are simply awareness, that the mind and the body and all those things, they're real and they exist, but they're not you, they're just something that's happening. That all of us are simply biological robots running code. It's the subconscious. And so that's why I use the car example. You don't blame your car when it gets a flat tire, right?
Right.
It's not the car's fault, but it is your responsibility to get it fixed if you want to drive places, isn't it?
Right. In this case, I have to get another car.
Yeah. In this case, the car is totaled. And the good news is with your life, you don't have to get a new body. You don't have to get a new mind. We can make a little tweak, right? This is more like changing a flat tire. You know, the rest of the car is working great. There's just a couple pieces here and there that aren't functioning the way we want them to. So we got to figure out what's going on. It's like, gee, why is my car driving really slow and having trouble making left turns? Well, once you check the tire and see it's flat, then you know that you can fix it, right? So that's all we're doing here. And there's really nothing to take personally, but that's the whole point of awakening, is understanding that you are not this being. You are not this human, the soul, the spirit, none of that. You are simply awareness. And the body and the mind and the human are things that are happening. And we are simply the experience of the happening. That the feedback we get says nothing about you as awareness, nothing at all. And that takes a little time, but that's where we're going with this. So let's give them a round of applause. Let's do one more person. Who else would like to go?
I'll go.
All right. Can you please pronounce your name for us so I don't butcher it?
Well, they have my website name or my email. So it's Georgine.
Georgine. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So give everyone a second to pin Georgine.
Let's see if I could raise my computer up. I don't know if I can get this working.
Ideally, you want to have your head right at kind of the top of the frame.
At the top of the what?
On top of the frame. So there should be very little space between the top of your head and the top of the frame. And you're pretty zoomed in. It might be nice if you could move back so we could see more of you. Not like the super close up here.
This is probably as best I can do it.
Yeah, step back as far as you can and put the computer down just a little bit.
Nope.
All right. And what movement would you like to do for us?
I've never done this before, so.
That's okay.
I guess the hand.
All right. Can you take another step back? There we go. That's better for us. Go ahead. Let's see it.
Wait a minute. Hold on just a minute.
Yeah, just say as far back as you can so we can see more of you. That's all.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see it.
Good. Okay. So I just like this.
Yeah,
Like this.
that's all we're looking for. So you see she's kind of throwing it over her shoulders is the big obvious thing we're seeing here.
I'm seeing futility.
Yeah, there is kind of a futility. It's kind of like no matter how much work I do, I don't get to keep the fruits of my labor. It's sort of like a serf mentality that, well, I'm going to go and work the farm because if I don't, they're going to kill me. But if I do a really good job and make all this food, they're just going to come and take it. So I'm kind of going through the motions and, you know, I'm going out and working hard and taking the fruits of my labor and just kind of throwing them off for someone else to collect.
And the right and left seem to be they're disconnected.
Yeah, let me take a look at that. They are definitely out of sync. They're competing for our attention, is what I see is happening. So let's see what's going on here. And so there's kind of on the upstroke, she's throwing it over her shoulders. And on the downstroke, she's kind of throwing it away, brushing it off. My guess is you probably have a little difficulty accepting praise and compliments. That's what I'm seeing is when we show you love, you're kind of brushing it off. Can everyone see that? She's kind of brushing it off, throwing it away.
Right, and this kind of the stoic mask.
Yeah. There's a sense of it's not about me. This is probably somebody who tries really hard to help others at the expense of herself. Are we accurate about that?
Pretty close.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing in your energy. So there's sort of a humbleness by denigrating yourself. You're like, hey, it's not about me. You know, it's about the others. So if you hand me this love and money, I'm either going to throw it on the ground or just throw it over my shoulders to someone else. It's like you're making the food, but you're not eating it.
I keep getting disgust.
There is a kind of disgust, and she doesn't want us to see it.
Right.
That there's a lot of judgment about the disgust. It's kind of like, well, if my boss really knew how much I hated this job, he'd fire me, so I can't let him know.
Well, I'm the boss.
Okay.
I'm my own boss.
Yeah, or maybe you're the boss, and it's you that you don't like, and you don't want yourself to know how much you dislike you.
Yes.
Because if you did, you'd fire your own butt.
Very judgmental.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to have to fire yourself, so let's go hide.
Right.
Good.
I get a sense of skeleton in the closet for some reason.
Uh-oh.
You know, there is a bit of a deception. It's a little bit of the magician. You know, don't look at the man behind the curtain. That's good. There is a little bit of something you're hiding from us. That there's something that she's trying to get away with, is the way I would put it. Can anyone else see that in her energy? It's like there's some agenda or something going on she doesn't want us to know about. And we're not buying it.
For some reason, I was getting it like she's teasing us with it, you know, like a peekaboo. Like,
yeah, there is a little bit of a teasing us. It's like, I'm going to show you this, and you're going to think that this is all there is. You know what I think it is? It's like we're the tax collector that showed up. Like, oh, look, I only generated, 3 bundles of food this year, so you take one of them, and I'm going to keep the other 2. She doesn't want us to know that she has a trap door with 8 more bundles of food she's hiding. It's that kind of energy. So are you playing small somewhere in your life?
Yes.
I mean, that's what I'm guessing that is.
Yeah.
That you have the energy, the power, the love, the passion, something,
Yeah.
but you're afraid to show it. Who is it that would stomp on you if you showed it? Was it your parents? Did you have older siblings?
My parents.
Okay. Yeah, because there's some authority figure you're hiding from. You're hiding your power, your passion, your love, your beauty. And I think that's what you don't want to show us. That's why we're like, hey, what are you doing here, right? We know you're trying to misdirect us, but we're not sure why. The trouble with that is, and I'm not calling you a slimy salesman, but it's a slimy salesman energy. Right? You get that sense of someone that has an agenda. And here's the thing, even if it's a noble agenda, it still comes across as creepy. Even if your hidden agenda is to help people and uplift them, People can sense and feel that there's an agenda there that they don't see, and that creates distrust immediately.
Mm.
And it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, right?
Right.
Your agenda could be to save our lives. But if you don't show us that, we're going to sense it's there and you're hiding it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's my sense is you have a noble agenda. You're not trying to hurt us. You're not trying to trick us in any sense.
No.
That, you do have a benevolent goal in mind. But you're afraid that if you show us the truth, that we'll be hurt by it. Or you'll be punished or something like that, right? Isn't it wild how much shows up just by moving your hands?
It's fun.
Yeah, go ahead and relax for a second.
Okay. Good.
Anyone else have some feedback for Georgina?
Yeah, that last movement really looked like a cheerleader.
It did.
You know?
Yeah. And that's part of the performer thing that she was showing us. It's,
Yes. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say she looked like she was juggling and changing directions just to keep.
Absolutely. So you probably learned to perform for your parents, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because if you showed them what was really going on in your life, they probably would have not liked that, huh?
Yeah. I was an athlete.
Okay, yeah. So we can see the performer there.
Yeah.
You're using the performance to get the approval, the recognition, the support, the love.
Right.
That you think you'll be loved for what you do, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Well, here's a hint. People don't love you for what you do. People may like you for what they do. They may do business with you for what you do, right? That's not wrong in any way. But they love you for who you are. And this is where did you grow up?
Lots of parts in military brat.
Okay. In America?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is a very American belief.
Mm.
That you think you're a human doing. Have you heard that one before?
Yeah.
So you're running around. What you're showing us is a human doing. Doing all these things, going, don't look at the real me. I don't have that much value. I don't want you to see the real me. I want you to. I want to show you all the wonderful things I can do.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what's going on. So show us the performer. Show us what you can do. Hide the real you. Show us the mask and the dance. Show us the cheerleader with the plastic painted on face.
You want me to start doing that?
Yep. Show us what that looks like in your movement. Yeah, Marilyn says she looked like she was throwing a rope to catch something. Yep. That was her lifeline. The performance was was her survival mechanism. Good. So notice how we're starting to be able to feel her a little bit and connect. She's only letting us in a little bit, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yes.
You haven't really done something before. It's fine to start slow. And so this is really good. In her eyes, we're seeing some sadness. There's a little bit of sadness, a little bit of confusion, which is beautiful because that's how we make change. Yeah, so show us the performer, show us the cheerleader. Because if you do all the right things, then we're going to love you and admire you. No, we don't care who you are. We just want to know what you can do for us. I'm curious if anyone else can see the fear and the sadness starting to show up.
Yes,
that's actually good. That's a good sign because that's often the first genuine emotion that comes through. Yeah, Marilyn says now she looks like she wants to hurry up. Yeah, she's uncomfortable with showing us the real her, so of course she wants to hurry up. She wants to get to the end of it.
She's actually put her head up higher and got quite tension in her neck too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she kind of looks like help me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, show us that. Show us help me. Good. She really connected. Now she's a lot more genuine. Good. Now you're starting to entrain us. This is good. You're on the right track. Because I think for a lot of years you wanted to ask for help, but you didn't. You didn't feel like you did. And Marilyn mentioned she looks stiff. I think that's okay. The stiff and rigid is there because you're not used to being the real you. There's a little bit of clumsiness to anything you haven't done before, huh?
Yeah, until I learn it, and then I usually master it.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you probably have a high level of skill in a lot of things because you've been so focused on the doing and performing.
A very high level.
Yeah. And here, what we're seeing is you being genuine, which you're not very good at, so it looks stiff and rigid, doesn't it? You know, you watch people doing ballroom dancing or karate for the first time. You know, they all look stiff and rigid and clumsy, don't they?
Yeah.
Of course they do.
I'm getting the sense that she's a juggler and she's throwing 10 balls up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, show us the juggler. And do you know why you do that?
Why?
Because when you're constantly distracted by all these things that require attention and activity, it forces you to not stop and feel.
Yeah.
You create so many demands around you that you're always looking out.
Yeah.
Because there's always something to do, always someone to take care of, always an obligation, a duty, or responsibility, huh?
Yeah.
And that makes a wonderful excuse to not be present to what's going on for you, for real in your life, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. This is actually one of the primary reasons people struggle with money. Because as long as you're working 2 or 3 jobs just to have enough money to be broke, you don't have the opportunity to sit and be present. Because there's always something to do. The trouble is that we have this myth in our society that more action equals more money. We think there's a linear relationship between activity and wealth. Well, guess what? There's not. If you double your activity, you'll actually end up making about the same amount of money.
That's what I think I have to do.
Yeah. Triple your activity, quadruple it, I don't care. Even if you manage to force a bigger number into the bank account, I guarantee things will show up in your life that will drain it from you.
Yeah, that's what happens. I create a lot of money,
Yes.
and then they take it away from me.
Yes, that's why. My guess is if you learn to be more strategic about your activity, let go of some of it, that you would be able to do less and feel and create more. For me, one of the best things that happened to me in terms of my career was after I went through the intensive life training. This was not a good thing I would ever want to have happen again, but there was a major medical crisis in my family that required me to spend hours a day at the hospital for several months. And that forced me to cut back on how much I worked and how many things I was doing. And guess what? I started making more money. So, I'll invite you to maybe move that way without needing to have some horrific medical crisis that threatens the lives of the people around you. Don't worry.
That's not mine.
Yeah. Usually what happens is the universe just throws expenses at you. Stuff happens, right? Your car breaks down, you break a tooth. There's a problem with where you live. Someone needs to borrow money, your parents, your brother, your sister, right? Whatever. There's all these ways the universe can take your money.
Well, the government.
The government, sure. Taxes. Oh my God. I got this tax bill. I didn't realize I owed the government $50,000. Crap, now what do I do? Well, guess what?
The mortgage companies.
Sure, the mortgage companies, the homeowners dues, the property taxes.
Right.
You name it. So she's more real with us now. I wonder if anyone can feel she's starting to entrain us. And notice how she's exerting less effort. So there's a really great effortlessness we're seeing in her movement right now.
It's also more even.
Yeah. Georgina, can you feel that in your body?
Yeah, my body is relaxed.
Yes, the body is relaxed. it almost feels like it's moving on its own without you making it do so. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like I'm almost witnessing my body doing it.
Yes, beautiful. That's the observer. That's what we're going for.
Yeah.
And when one lives in a high consciousness, that's how life goes. You literally observe yourself. You see the thoughts and the actions happening, but you know it's not you, is it?
No, I'm not.
But there is a body that's taking action, isn't there?
Right.
It happens automatically, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Good. You're getting it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. This is exactly where you need to be.
Perfect.
And I'm curious to hear what happens in your life after you get used to this place.
Yeah, well, this is my place.
Right. This is your place, right?
Yeah.
Notice how it's largely effortless, isn't there?
Yeah, it's like there's no effort. Before I was getting pain in my arm, and this is like I'm literally right now.
Yes.
Witnessing the body. It's like the Georgine body.
And this is how everything you do every day can be.
Wow.
When you're going to work, going to the gym, doing chores, whatever, that you will simply notice the body and the mind are just doing their thing. And it's happening automatically, and it's not actually you, is it?
No.
It's pretty wild, huh?
It's great.
One of my teachers, go ahead.
It's also mindless. I mean, it's no chatter in the mind.
This is what in the East they call Satori, or Zen Mushin, no mind.
Yeah.
And that was the highest state of the martial arts. That's what all the samurai strove to attain. There was no thought. It was pure action happening automatically. The samurai were taught that they died when they swore their allegiance. So they had nothing to lose from death and battle. They were already dead. The body was simply a vehicle that was trained to react automatically to threats and danger. So there was no thought in the mix slowing it down. This is great. Anyone else have feedback for her?
I saw a sense of calm come over, and her chin dropped, and the tension's largely gone out of her neck.
Yep. Yeah, that's what allows the effortlessness. Because when we move from ego, we use a lot of neck, and we're moving from the outside from muscle, and we get exhausted very quickly. Awesome. Let's give her a round of applause.
Yeah, it feels really peaceful.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
So any last questions?
No, at the moment.
Questions from anybody? Anybody? This is your chance. And for everyone that did some movement today, if you have a success story, if you have some transformation, let me know about it. I'd love to share it in the next VIP Club event. And we are going to be doing a live heal-a-thon on Monday. If you're not on my email list, you might want to jump on it. It's free. Just go to awakeningdynamics.com. I'll be sending out some emails over the weekend. And we'll be doing some block clearing. We'll be doing some consciousness shifting and talking about all this stuff. And we got the, of course, the weekend workshop coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. So anyone that wants to dive deeper into this, learn how it works, develop skill with all the 7 tools of higher dimensional living to learn to live in this place that we're showing you how to achieve, would love to have you there. Last chance for questions. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you soon. Goodbye and namaste.
Thanks, Brent.
Hi, everyone.